Hi, Stuart J. Raj here, and what I'm going to share with you today is probably going to excite a lot of people. Might frighten a few, or you might have a mixture of both. Edward Snowden came out many years ago, and he exposed all of the things that is happening with our data online. Now, in the past, these amazing tools to search through data through signals intelligence or SIGINT were usually in the hands of governments, militaries, and different law enforcement bodies. But now, we as normal people have the ability to use these tools. Now, they can be used for many things, but as a language learner, oh my goodness, these things can open an entire new world for you for learning language. The other day, one of the guys from my MINDKRAFT program, I'll put it up here, but he actually he went and got every single tweet from the French president that has ever been there, and he was able to make models and map and start mapping out and filling out his French language, filling up the holes that were there based on the language used by the president of France. Now, how does that happen? I'm going to show you today. Now, you may have seen in my last video, which if you didn't see it, have a look up top. I'll put a link to it. We were looking at how do you use tech to take things like old episodes of Friends or old reruns, and we used SRT files, and we were able to analyze those files and start to get language out of that. Now, there's a problem with subtitle files, and that is that the language used in subtitles is not really the language that's spoken. And in the past, when you're learning a language, you'd usually be basing your learning language text on, say, texts that were done by teachers, by academics, or graded readers. And very often, your language would be quite different to the language that is used on the ground. We don't need to do that now. So I'm going to show you, if you're going to get real life language samples, specimens, where do you get it? TikTok, social media, posts, tweets, Facebook, anywhere that's out there. But how do you actually harness the power? Well, if you came to Minecraft, you'd know. By the way, don't forget to join our Minecraft Discord group. If you really, into this, or you think you might be into this kind of stuff, where language meets tech meets brain skills, jump into the Minecraft Discord server and visit minecraft.me. But how do you do that? What about, well, there are some really cool tools out there. I'm going to show you one of them today. I'm not going to go into detail on the tech of how to actually use the tool, but I want to show you how this tool can be useful in learning languages and extracting colloquial native language that previously just wouldn't have been available at all. So we're going to focus again on Indonesian, just because we did it last week with friends and we looked at Indonesian subtitles. Now I want to get Indonesian language. Now I'm sitting right now in Bangkok, Thailand, but how do I get Indonesian? If I was to look for Indonesians around here, how would I get colloquial language? That's okay, because we have, there's an app called Twint. And what it does is lets us aggregate tweets. So check out, I need to stop saying, check this out. I used it a lot in my last video. So I should put a counter up every time I say, check this out, but check this out. So this basically means I want to get all the tweets that happened in Jakarta between the 1st of June 2021 and today. I want to export it to a CSV file, but it's actually tab separated file. And I want it to separate also all the hashtags and all of the other metadata. Now, we heard Edward Snowden speak about what's being done with metadata. There are big debates on it. I'm going to show you what metadata looks like, and you can be a judge of whether it's useful or not. But check this out. What you are seeing is every tweet that was happening before now and those. I'm just going to let it run, let it run, let it run, let it run, let it run. And then I'll stop. Okay, so that's stop that. Let's have a look at this, what we've got. Bang! Look at that. That is crazy. So just in that space, I picked up 5,297 tweets. I could have kept going. Look at the information we've got here. Created at, so this is the date, the time zone +7. Jakarta is the same time zone as Bangkok. User ID of the person who did it, their username. Now, little things you can do. Supposing you were an intelligence agency, or you saw somebody who was tweeting stuff you liked, you wanted to see who's the most prolific tweeter. I can just come in here and Visidata, Shift F, bang. They're all my tweeters. So it looks like Ahmad Normalana is number one tweeter in those few tweets. But this is a frequency chart of who's tweeted the most, and we can go all the way down to the bottom there. Okay, and come back up to the top. So that's pretty cool. That's interesting. It's not interesting for a language learner though. It's probably interesting for somebody who's wanting to know who's tweeting what. And you can actually see their names. If you don't want to just look at that, well, it's Twitter, and so they've got all of this metadata on you. So these are the names that you see for the people there. Now the tweet, this is where it gets interesting, the tweets. Let me just expand that. So here is the gold. This is where the real language comes out. And you'll notice something very different between this language and the language we did last week, say with the Friends episodes. In Friends episodes, it's still quite formal, but you can see, like, for example, if I come down here, you're hearing all of this slang, and it's just normal. Squad tim nasional Belanda di Euro. That's not that slang. Gua jadi pengen kawin. That is very slang. Gua jadi pengen kawin literally means it makes me want to get married. Okay. Membuat saya ingin kawin would be the proper Indonesian. So we can see straight away that this language that we're getting from Twitter is actually real life, real language. Okay, so how do we harness the power of this? Oh, by the way, I'll just show you some of the other fields that we've got. Here, language. Now that's fascinating. Let me do a frequency chart on the language. Number one language in Jakarta for tweets, Indonesian, of course, English. So I can actually filter all of these down. Arabic, French, Finnish, Spanish. So Japanese, you've got 20 tweets. So we could actually hone in on just those languages in a city. The other day we were looking in Taiwan, in Taipei, and it's amazing. The majority of tweets in Taiwan, in Taipei, are in Japanese. Because Taiwanese people don't use Twitter that much, but Japanese people in Taiwan do. So you can actually track down communities even that you could practice your language with using this tool. Other interesting thing, URLs that they go to, mentions, you can see who's being mentioned. Hashtags. Now, okay, before we go any further, if you want to know what people are talking about, have a look at this. I'm going to grab these hashtags. So I'm going to paste them here. These are all the hashtags. Now you can see they come in these, they're actually arrays because they come in these blocks, but I'll show you. This is the power of Vim. If you see what I'm doing here and it looks like magic, or how the hell is he doing that? It's not magic. Come to MINDKRAFT and you'll learn. People who have had no tech background are getting a new life on tech, a new lease on life in tech. It's not difficult. It doesn't have to be just intelligence agencies or computer boffins that know how to do this stuff. You can do it too. But check this out. Just set this up to substitute the brackets, the quotes, the commas in the comma separator, and get rid of the spaces. So bang. Done. Look at those hashtags. I'm going to save that. Bang. There are my hashtags. These are the most popular hashtags in the past 24 hours. Well, it wasn't every tweet. We only got, 5,000 odd of them. But if I do Belanda jadi Shopee. So, wow, Shopee's hashtag game is pretty strong. But if I were learning language, I would go in and check out some of these top trending hashtags and learn the language around that as well, which you can use this tool for. So this is one thing that we can do with this tool, and we can go in, but it gets better than that. Bang, it's all pasted, get rid of that line. This is every single tweet that was there. So how many lines have we got? 3,699 I've got in this lot. There is a bunch of stuff that we can do in this now. First of all, if I'm wanting to speak, the way that this kind of colloquial language is pronounced is very different to, say, if you were going to university in Australia or somewhere and they were teaching Indonesian. Nobody would teach you how to say this kind of stuff. But I'm going to show you. So, for example, here's one. Jadi kebayang percakapan meetingnya pasti ngeselin banget. Jadi staffnya kalau gini gak upload kena marah bos upload, ntar dijadiin kambing. Itu mama bos waka 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 is laughing in Indonesian. Okay, so this is that's line number 18. Let me just bring my mouse down there. So this entire line here, that is pure Indonesian colloquial language. There's so many different things, but the really cool thing with Vim is, look at this. If I come in here now, we remember back Damayanti from last week is the voice, text-to-speech voice of the Indonesian speaker in my computer. So I can just say, I want to take that line and say it in the voice of Damayanti. Listen to this. I'm going to put my earphone in to listen to.
Krishna Krishnoi @ifro @kominfo Magelang. Jadi kebayang percakapanan meetingnya, wajah menangis bahagia, pasti ngeselin banget. Jadi staffnya kalau gini gak upload kena marah bos upload, ntar dijadiin kambing ama bos WKKW.
Wow, that's awesome. Awesome. And it's so funny because even the emojis said with this text-to-speech, I think it was wajah nangis senyum or something like that. It means a smiling, crying face. So you can actually do text-to-speech from these whole sentences. But it gets better. What we want to do from here is, you remember last week, now you can do word frequency lists and everything that I spoke about in that last one. But I want to look now, we were looking at different word forms in Indonesian because we have these prefixes, suffixes, infixes, circumfixes. So if you're wanting to learn how these prefixes work, this is where you learn how to do it. And there are some cool things that happen, like for example in slang. So in here, the kan. So if I say buka, buka means open. I mentioned this in the last clip. So membuka, activating through the m form, puts it into verb form. So membuka, to open. Bukakan, kan at the end means it attaches it. So an object to what you're saying. So bukakan botol means open the bottle. Membukakan botol, to open the bottle. Now in slang in Indonesian, the kan turns to in, bukain. And a lot of the time also, so for example, if I say mengatakan, so from the word kata becomes mengata. Now, if you do MINDKRAFT, again, my guys, I was so proud of them this last weekend. They were able to, they didn't learn Indonesian grammar, but because they understand the mouth now from session 1, they could predict what the sound change rules were, even without knowing them. So kata becomes mengata. So, and then mengata in slang, you drop the m, you're left with ngata. So if I knew that, but I wasn't fluent in Indonesia, I would be looking for all of these words, the m kan words, and then the ones starting with ng, ngata, and just seeing how these words shift in spoken language. With Vim, we have the power to do that. Watch this. So the first thing, I want to find all the words that start with, that have this m, kan affix. Let's find it. Okay. Now, you notice it's just highlighted one. So basically, this V means very magic. I don't have to put these things. So I want something that starts with M, and then has any number of letters from a word, that's backslash W, escape W, and plus, and then kan at the end. Now, it's only highlighted one there because I haven't got highlighting on. Let me turn my highlighting back on. Set highlight search. Okay, now we can do it. Wow, that is awesome. I'm going to select them all. So let me turn off highlighting for a minute. Set HLS off. Okay, so I'm going to just make sure that's all in lowercase just to make it all even. So lowercase. All right, and now let's sort them. Sort. That's in Now, if I were learning Indonesian now, I will say I've just saved this as makan. I want to know which words are actually the most used. So here are all those words. All I do is do a frequency chart again. So Shift F, bang. These are the words I need to know. In spoken Indonesian and the verbs, these are the verbs I need to know. So I would export those and learn them again. Now, if I made this list now of exported verbs, what I can do, and again, this is the power of the terminal. If all of this terminal magic is scaring you, don't be scared. Just come to Minecraft and we'll help you out. It's a really cool group of supportive people and everyone from zero tech to tech masters, and everybody helps each other because everyone wants to learn. So let me just jump out of that because I've saved it and I'll show you what we can do with that then. grep. We're looking for the pattern of anything in that file. So I'll call this matches unique in my tweets. That is awesome. Now I've done it for all of them. You can do it for each word. You can build up your own dictionaries. The sky's the limit to what you can do. But basically I could go for each one of those words and see how these are done. Now, if I wanted to, I can go and I take that text and I paste into Google Sheets and then just do a quick Google Translate. And so here's my Google Translate done from there. I just say Google Translate A1 Indonesian to English, just like we did with friends. I'll get them all, paste them here. Now you notice because it's slang, Google doesn't do a great job, but that's okay. And in Vim, there's a really cool thing we can do. We can actually sync these two because this is English down here. And sorry, that's Indonesian and this is English down here. Well, they've tried to be English. It's not great, but you can kind of get the meaning. But if I do this now, and now as I scroll down, they're synced. That is awesome. So I can actually go through, learn. If I wanted to say, what is one? This sentence here. Say in the voice of Damayanti.
At Drachmati Dayat BLM tahu benterah menanti cebetnya itu akikahan ade ipar di asri.
Bang, that's awesome. So it was belum tahu di antara di mana nanti coba tanya itu akikah anak ade ipar di asri. Now you can see from this sentence here, this is the problem in doing this in Indonesian. Every single one of those words has actually had most of the vowels taken out. So this is what you're going to learn. But you can actually learn this or take this sentence to your Indonesian friend and say, what does this actually mean? This is a golden lesson that you can actually use a teacher for, rather than having them teach from a syllabus of language that's not really ideal. This is the real language that people use, and you can actually start using this back in your texting and whatnot. So I hope this has been enlightening for you. It's pretty wild what you can actually do with open source intelligence gathering tools. If you want to learn more about these kinds of tools, we've got a ton of them, and I believe that they should be in the hands of everybody for learning, not just these elites or whatever who are they're searching for people doing investigations. You should be able to use this technology for your learning, and that's what Minecraft is all about. So if you like this, come to minecraft.me, join the Minecraft Discord group. You should be able to see the QR code, scan it in. All I'd ask is that you have a positive attitude coming in, because we all are there to learn. We want to help each other. Doesn't matter whether you're no good at tech or no good at languages or any of them, but you just want to have that attitude to learn. Come on in and we'll help you, and who knows, you could get a new lease on language and tech and your mind. I'm Stuart J. Raj. I'll see you in the next clip. Bye.